Good morning, friends, and welcome to Vlogtober Day 2. If you can tell, I feel a whole lot more like myself today. Brain is definitely firing on all cylinders compared to the way it was yesterday. That was not a fun day, and but you got to see it all. So today I am definitely going to work on my dress because that's got to get done. I've got to run down to the shop a little bit later this afternoon, so I put on a little minimal makeup this morning and just brushed out my hair. I'm thinking I'm going to touch up my color tomorrow if I have time before Friday night. The roots are just starting to fade just a little bit, so it would be nice to have it freshened up. I just don't know if I'm going to have time. But you saw me throw on my face, recorded a little bit of that this morning. Just minimal, no foundation, just powder and a little bit of eyes and lips. But yeah, so don't want to waste my expensive foundation on just a day that's mostly around the house. So that's about all for right now. I am going to get it going, and I will check in with you again in a little bit. Hey guys, okay, here's a little quick check-in on where I'm at with the dress. I am in the process of pinning on the facing to one of the bodice fronts and back to stitch that on. I already have the other one done. All pressed on. This dress, this bodice is like a jigsaw puzzle. It has such crazy shaping and pleats and tucks that there is no telling how it's supposed to look until it's done. So it's like putting together origami or something. Here's the pattern. I didn't have the number handy yesterday. This is the counter. This is the counter number. I have the other number on the sheet somewhere. This is here. Maybe it's on here. 8249. There we go. 8249, 1940s. But you can see right here. I'll focus. There's pleats here. There's gathering. There's darts.
So hopefully once I pass this, this is going to be the most complicated part, and I will just have the skirt to sew up. I mean, I can, here's the shoulder seam. Here's the shoulder seam up here in the back. So somehow this is going to cross over like this, maybe. This is a weird dart that, like, there must be a name for this, and they don't give you any specific instructions on how to do it. But it has that little hole opening because it's actually, you sew with the dart, instead of angling, you sew across and then down, and then you trim it. More like a box pleat kind of shape. I'm not exactly sure how they want me to press that, but maybe this crosses over like that, and this is a partial dart, bust dart here. That may be. Hopefully it will look better on me and better on my dress form here once it gets done. But this went in nicely, and I'm hoping I don't have any flipping issues with my facings, which I do sometimes, but I seem to have got a nice firm crease on that, so it looks like it's laying really nice and flat. Everything matched up nicely, so I'm going to get on with it and get the other piece of facing in and check back in a little bit and see where I get. Hi guys. Okay, so I figured out what I did wrong. That weird dart is called a seam dart. So apparently I was not supposed to stitch it yet. I was just supposed to actually slash it. There were cutting lines. I didn't go exactly on the cutting lines. I just kind of trimmed off with my pinking shears. But there's a section of the right front, which is going to get gathered down in between there, and then all sandwiched together. So I basically just have to rip this open, and I will actually check my cutting lines to make sure they're more accurate. If I did not, if I have more to cut down, I will, and if not, I will just fake it, and it'll be fine. I'm sure it's going to be fine. But I don't have my seam ripper up here. It is downstairs, so I don't have a lot of sewing time right now before I have to go out and run to work real quick and take care of a few things. So while I'm waiting for my husband to get back in the car, I just moved on to another step, and I am taking, this is one of the ties, it has a rounded end. There's two of these, one's a little longer than the other, so they just need to be stitched up, trimmed, and flipped around and ironed. So I'm going to quick do that step while I am being lazy and not running downstairs for my seam ripper to mess with all of that right now. So that's where we're at. I wish the instructions had been a little more detailed coming in to the beginning there of what that was all about, because if you look at it on the pattern pieces, it just looks like a regular dart, but with this extra little line on it. It's not really clear, and it says to cut it, but I didn't want to cut it as when I was cutting it out, because I was afraid maybe that would be wrong, and if I cut it and it wasn't supposed to be cut, then that would have been a mistake. So it'll all be fine, but I just wish there had been a little bit more detail on that step, maybe up front as to in the cutting, or I don't know, some kind of notation, because that's an unusual feature and it is not anything that I have run across before. If you have done something like this, let me know. It's because there's all this gathering and draping in the front of this pattern, but it's not a step technique. It's not a technique that I've done before. Anyway, back to stitching this up, and I will check in again in a little bit. Bye.
Oh, shoot. This is the most perfect Hobbit dress I've ever seen in my entire life. Freaking adorable. This beautiful dress. The top is so perfect, and it has kind of that medieval sleeve to it. The whole top is very medieval, and then of course the bottom has the ruffles. Listen to me. It is perfect for fall, perfect for autumn. I can either wear it the way it is with maybe a different belt, or I could put a skirt on the bottom and use the top for what it is. So precious. I am in love.
Okay, this is going to be my final check-in for the night because I am going to have to go upload all these clips from today and edit and get this up to you tomorrow. And so I just want to show you where I am with the dress. I'm going to call it quits for tonight. It's 8 o'clock. It'll give me a few hours editing time, but the puzzle is kind of starting to make a little more sense now. So let me flip this. Okay, so here's what we've got. This is only sewn down on this side, but this panel here is just pinned, but it's starting to make a little more sense once I figured out what was going on there. These pieces basically all overlap to make the bottom definitely a more tricky pattern. I don't know, do they... Simplicity does not say whether things are easy or advanced or anything. I mean, it's not super difficult, but it does take a little finagling to figure all this out and this manipulation here to get this to lay flat. I mean, it's all... I kind of need to have pins stuck in to get it to lay here, and the side seams are not stitched yet. But see, there's the under of this piece is down over here, so it's definitely complicated, and this will have to be stitched across to get this to smooth out and lay flat. I hate how this color comes out so black looking on the camera. It's really much darker, and then also in the daylight when the sun is out, you can see the color's not as dark as it is with the regular lights on. But I have this much done on the bodice. Everything from here on out should be relatively simple. The binding, once this is stitched on, so you just flip it up. Here's where it'll get stitched. This just has to be stitched down here. Okay, I don't know where I was. My camera memory card was full, so I've had to delete a bunch of stuff. Now we can finish up here. So as I was saying, you put the seam binding to reinforce, goes over this. Once it is flattened out and pressed, you reinforce that with seam binding. Then I just need to do the darts in the skirt. I already have the sashes sewn together and ready to be pressed. And then it'll be the sleeves and the hemming, so hopefully that shouldn't take me too much time. And the zipper, of course, it calls for a invisible zipper, which of course I hate and I am not doing. I will just do a lapped zipper that will go in the back. Back looks pretty good, and I've got my darts in there and everything. Just have to do them in the skirt. Should be no problem to alter to that. The sleeves are tulip style sleeves where there are two pieces, and then they're not here right now. You'll see all that tomorrow. Let me flip around here again. So that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed this little vlog day, maybe more than yesterday. Definitely more sewing content and not nearly as long. I don't think I'll have many that long now, but that was full of footage from several days. So I will see you guys all tomorrow. Bye.